Good morning, Greater Latrobe. For today's edition of Around Latrobe, I'm your host, Alex Bizignani, alongside Jonah Ferry. To take a deeper look at the Capstone students' efforts in improving the school's environment, here's Abby Poole with the news about the latest Capstone project.
Capstone is a class offered here in our high school that focuses on local and environmental challenges. However, the classroom goes far beyond the four walls of a classroom. The Capstone class completes many projects in and around the school, from butterfly gardens, flower beds, bat boxes, single stream recycling, to birdhouses. Each and every student works hard to make an idea reality.
This is the first year that I've assigned a summer assignment. I was out last year till the end of the year and assigned a summer assignment, part of which was proposing their projects. So all 20 different students proposed various different projects, and then at some point, kind of mid-year, it was like December, January, we sat down as a class, they proposed them out loud, gave details, discussed, and then we as a class narrowed it down to 3 this year.
Students are more than thrilled to be a part of one of the many projects, including building and placing birdhouses on the cross-country path.
So there's a couple things involved. First, we had to design the birdhouses ourselves using a programming Mr. Glamp taught us. Then we actually had to get the wood from Mr. Hudoff. And eventually we just slowly started putting them together step by step.
Hunter is most excited about the rewards the houses give to the community.
Seeing it would really inspire maybe different people to do some stuff or something similar to what we're doing.
Throughout the years, Capstone has impacted the school tremendously, all of which is made possible through funding.
Capstone has 2 sources of funding. We receive funding from the Education Foundation, and then we also receive money every year refreshed into a specific Capstone account from the Catherine Mava McKennis Foundation, and that's a very kind charitable donation that we use and appreciate every single year.
With many ambitious projects to come in the upcoming years, such as an outdoor classroom, you may want to keep an eye on Mrs. Logan's Capstone class. Reporting for WCAT-TV, I'm Abby Poole.
The Capstone class also helps share the joy of science with local students at Kindergarten Earth Day. Here's Victoria Potter with the story.
Mrs. Logan's Capstone class is always out and about, focused on hands-on learning and helping the environment. Most recently, the Capstone students and a few future Capstone students headed over to all of our district's elementary schools to host their annual Kindergarten Earth Day. Here is Mrs. Logan with a word on the event.
So Kindergarten Earth Day is a district-wide event where my high school Capstone students host every kindergartner in the district. So we have Bagley, Mountain View, and LES come down, usually at Rotary Park if the weather allows, where we host a series of events that are both fun and educational to help the kindergarten students celebrate Earth Day.
This isn't the only field trip they have gone on this year. The current Capstone students have participated and volunteered in many different projects this year. The students plan, prepare, and run the entire field trip day at Rotary Park for every kindergarten student, this year on May 2nd and 3rd. This event is aimed at environmental awareness, education, and fun for the young children of Latrobe.
And every year we change the theme to incorporate different learning activities that usually align with some part of the curriculum they've done. So I coordinate with Mrs. Rosa at Bagley, and she'll let us know what they've been studying that year and how that can connect.
Unfortunately, this year's Kindergarten Earth Day was stuck indoors due to weather, but the Capstone students made the best of it.
This came about as an idea from my predecessor, Mrs. Carol Wright, who worked at the high school before I got this position, and she started it with Mrs. Rosa. The two of them had this idea to try and get a large district-wide event to help the younger students learn and connect with some of the high school students. And because Capstone is such a unique course that allows us the opportunity to have some time to go out in the community, we were able to collaborate together, and I've carried that on.
This year, Wild World of Animals brought in a wide variety of wildlife. Some of the animals included a snake, a hawk, baby fox, barn owl, a baby bear, and many more. It sure has been a pretty fun-filled day for the kindergarten as well as the Capstone counselors. If you're at all interested in the environment, working as a team, spending time in nature, taking a unique approach on hands-on learning, and getting involved with the community, consider taking your very own Capstone class. For WCAT-TV, this has been Victoria Potter.
Other groups in our school are busy as well. A lot of time, preparation, and changes have to be made to a choir that wants to be nationally recognized. Here's Kaylin Mann with the ways that the Greater Latrobe Concert Choir is making improvements.
The Greater Latrobe Concert Choir has been hard at work preparing for their spring concert. Many things have been improving and changing to increase the reputation of the choir.
The choir department has incorporated a lot of new initiatives and curriculum components this year that help us grow as musicians. So for example, during quarter 3, every single Monday we focused on solfege, soloing, and sight reading. So what that means is we never practiced any of our choral music on those Mondays, but instead we read different kinds of exercises and learned how to identify notes, major and minor key signatures, different rhythms, and we actually together as a class work to perfect all of these skills.
During class, students volunteer to do solos to practice the skills they are learning and gain experience with more complicated music.
I think that one big way that the choir has changed since last year is the incorporation of freshmen. And I think that that's like a really important thing, because the sooner that they can get introduced to more mature music, the better they can get earlier on.
The choir strives to sound better at the end of the year versus the beginning of the year. The students work together and always make each other feel like family.
My favorite thing about being in choir is it's such a family experience. Like, I've made some of the best friends in my life, and I also get to express myself through music, which I love.
Ms. Surden wants the choir to experience music at different levels. She plans to visit other high schools and colleges in the area and perform in different music festivals.
Some of the things that I see in the future for the chamber choir and the concert choir are traveling both throughout our country and also internationally, participating in different kinds of festivals and competitions, really taking what we do beyond the walls of Greater Latrobe Senior High School and really putting us on the map somewhere else.
While the concert choir is performing here at Greater Latrobe, you can anticipate seeing them around different stages around the nation. Reporting from WCTV, I'm Caitlin Mann.
From performing in every football game to the marching in the parades, the Greater Latrobe Marching Band is always active in school functions. But they also spend their spring preparing for an experience of a lifetime. Here's Emily Weaver with the details of the 2017 Marching Band trip.
No matter what school-wide occasion, the Greater Latrobe Marching Band is always ready to perform. But what many people don't know is that marching band season does not end at football season. Every year, the Greater Latrobe Marching Band travels all around the country to perform. The marching band had the opportunity to travel to Virginia and perform in front of thousands of people.
First, we drove down and we saw the military tattoo concert, and that concert is at an arena, the Scope Arena in Norfolk. It's a pretty cool concert where there are different acts and performing ensembles from all over the world, and then the next morning those students got to see many of those performing ensembles in the parade in which our students performed in. For example, right in front of us was the military band from France, which is pretty cool.
Traveling around the country is not something new to the marching band. In the past, the band has traveled to Disney World in Orlando, Florida, New York City, and Washington, D.C. Next year, the band is pending on school board approval to travel to New Orleans.
When students have the opportunity to travel outside of the state, they get to represent the school and the community. And I think through learning about other places and learning about new cultures and new peoples and representing yourself, you grow as a person.
The preparation of the trip is crucial to the marching band's success. The students work on music in the fall, and when it is time for the trip, the marching band brushes and polishes it to perfection. But the band must do much more than just memorizing the music.
Also, to prepare for the parade, you need to drink a lot of water. It was almost 90 degrees, and we had our heavy uniforms on with like the long sleeves and the capes and everything. So if you don't drink water, you pass out, and it's a hot mess.
When talking to the students, their favorite part of the trip seemed to be Busch Gardens and the tattoo concert. But Mr. Sheridan's favorite part comes when the trip is over.
My favorite part of the trip, and my favorite part of every trip, is actually after we're home and the buses pull into the school and all the students are safe and we can reflect on how much fun everyone had.
If you're interested in joining the marching band or color guard for the 2017-2018 marching band season, stop and see Mr. Sheridan in room F208 for more information. And remember to #hydrate. Reporting for WCAT-TV, I'm Emily Weaver.
Another memorable trip was the visit to the Flight 93 Memorial. Daniel Sharon has the story.
Seniors got the opportunity to go to the Flight 93 Memorial thanks to the Friends of Flight 93.
So the history department was very fortunate to receive a grant from the Friends of Flight 93 Memorial.
This field trip would be one of the last field trips for most seniors.
As a department, this year we decided to select seniors to attend this field trip. This is something that's a pilot group. We have never been out here on a field trip before, and we wanted to see what all was available, what kind of tour we would receive, and where students would have opportunities to learn additional material outside of the classroom.
The Flight 93 Memorial is full of many people, and not everyone gets to come and work at this wonderful place.
And I didn't choose this job. It just kind of happened. Things are meant to be. I don't believe in coincidences. I was at another park. I was asked to come down here. I was invited to come down here on a 120-day detail. That 120-day detail turned into another detail and another and another. For 2 years I was on details, and they asked me to stay here.
There are many ways to learn on exactly what happened on September 11. But at the Flight 93 Memorial, they've been working on an educational program that will help provide more information.
Here, I believe, to teach school kids that are coming here. I've been placed here to get this education program up and running. I'm not saying that I will always be at this site, but I go wherever I'm asked. Sometimes we go where maybe God wants us to go.
This field trip wouldn't be possible without the help of some very important people, including Jessica Golden, Henry Scully, Mr. Wetzel, Donna Bates, and Mr. Kralik. So thank you for all the teachers that made this possible. Reporting for WCAT TV, this is Dan.
Thanks for tuning into this edition of Around Latrobe. Tune in tomorrow for more in-depth stories about our Latrobe community.